Hi, and welcome to this Python tutorial about a specific module called OS. In this tutorial, we will be exploring basic commands such as changing the directory, making a directory, and printing the current working directory. I'm going to start by making some functions for each of those topics that I mentioned. So we can print the current working directory, print current working directory. Say pass for now. We can also change the working directory. I could even put the word current in here to be consistent with the previous function. And I can also make a new directory. All of these things can be done with the OS module. The first function that I'm going to implement is the print current working directory function. As you may have guessed, this function will require using the print function. Inside of the parentheses, I'm going to put the required text, which is os.get cwd, where cwd stands for current working directory. We also need a set of parentheses here. To prove to you that this works, I'm going to open the terminal window and run this program. I have called it tutorial.py, and I'm using Python 3.12. So let's see what happens. Nothing happens because I need to call the function. This is a mistake that I make kind of frequently. Sorry. Okay, so now the current directory has been printed in the terminal, and we are good to go to the next function. The next function that I want to implement is make new directory. After that directory is made, we will change the current working directory such that we are in the new directory that we made. So let's make a new directory called test. How are we going to do that? First, we need a name for the directory. To be even more descriptive, I'm going to type directory name. Then I will type os dot make dir and pass directory name to this function. All right. So now I'm going to call this function, and instead of directory name, I'm just going to put test. However, I want this to be in the current location, so I'm putting a // right before the name. So I should probably change this to directory to be accurate. Okay, let's run this program and see what happens to the directory structure. To see the current directory structure, I'm going to open this side panel where you can see I have the folder Python demos with an additional file, or just a file inside of that folder. So when I run this program, a new folder pops up called test. I'm going to delete this folder, move to trash, and take away this // so that you can see what happens when I don't include the /. In fact, the folder actually appears in the same location, so it's actually not necessary to include the /. Okay, so now that we have made this directory, I'm going to change the current working directory, which is the last function to implement. Implementing this function involves calling a function called chdir for change directory. As you may have guessed, we are going to pass a directory to this function that I defined so that we can specify which directory we're going to change to. Going to save the file and call the function. And I'm going to attempt to change the directory to test. To prove to you that I'm actually changing the directory, I will need to print the initial directory and print the final directory. So I'm going to utilize the function up here that was created at the beginning of this video. So let us run this program and see what's printed. I'm going to expand this window. You can see that there were 2 directories printed as expected. The second function doesn't print anything. So initially we were in the Python demos directory, or this folder. Then we changed the directory so that we were in the test folder. And now this function prints the new current working directory.